I'm delighted to be joined by the trainer, Willie Mullins, on the phone. Good evening, Willie.
Tom, how are you?
Yeah, very well. How are you? 26 days until Cheltenham, Willie. How's your yard looking, considering, you know, the wet and windy, atrocious conditions, or has the sun been shining in Ireland?
Better day today, but yesterday was horrific, hurricane-style stuff, and you know, the gallops are just saturated with rain. But we've done a lot of work with our gallops over the summer and this winter, and it's paying off now when we get these conditions.
Excellent. Funny you say hurricane style. We might touch on that word again a little bit later. Obviously, with less than a month ago, what sort of things are you looking for in your horses at the moment, or do you deal with them all completely separately? Do they all each have their own quirks, or are you looking at them as a group and really looking out for things at this moment in time?
Well, I think just looking at them as a group, most of them have had their prep races now, and they will, you know, they get an easy few days, and then we'll try and count down to Cheltenham. The last two to 3 weeks will be, some of them will need more work than others, and depending on how they look, how they're taking this weather, how they're taking the extra strain on the gallops, because obviously they're a good bit softer than other years. And we just decide from day to day what each horse will do and what they need to do, and how they take their training will determine then what we give them.
Excellent. Well, I mean, obviously you may have to drop one or two, even promote one or two in terms of what you're bringing over to Cheltenham. I can only see that maybe it's going to be 30 or 40 horses. Now, this can't be an easy task. How do you go about bringing, you know, 30 or 40 of your own stable horses over the coast into England, into Cheltenham, Willie? How do you go about that? You must have a cracking team there.
Well, we try and space it out. We get the horses running on the Tuesday and Wednesday over first, and some years we've brought them all over and have them there by the Sunday maybe, but logistically that's tough work, because we need a lot of staff over there. We need plenty of staff at home here to do the other horses, and this year we'll probably try something different. We'll try and space it out a bit more. However, we bring them on the ferry, and then, you know, you're looking at the weather, and if we get a weather pattern like we have this week, it means we've got to get them over early. That you can't depend on the weather to leave it to the last minute. No, and you know, the weather will determine a lot of when we travel.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was trying to look at the horses you're bringing over, and as we sort of quite rightly discussed before the show, it might be easier for you to tell us which ones of your horses aren't coming over. But just touching on one of them quickly, and then I'll throw you over to Twitter Corner, where our viewers have got a few questions. But Hurricane Fly, of course, very impressive, beating the likes of Arcano, very game on that occasion. I personally like the new one. It was impressive defeat even at Kempton. But how do you compare, from my point of view, the punter and our viewers, which are primarily punters, Willie, how can you compare Irish and UK form? How can you pitch the new one against the likes of Hurricane Fly?
Well, I imagine you've got to go back, you know, a couple of times that Hurricane Fly has raced in England, and see if you can compare your English form to what he beat then. Yeah. But I think Tony McCoy is the one that's riding in both races, and he consistently says on the well, I'm just reading him on the papers, and he's consistently saying that, you know, we're the one to beat, and you know, so I'm hoping he's right all the time.
Yeah, fair enough. What I'll do then, Willie, we'll just try and take a couple of questions in from our viewers. Sam, have you got any questions for Willie from our viewers?
Yeah, good evening, Willie. I'll get straight to it because we've had an awful lot in for you. We won't keep you for hours, but we'll run through the ones that we've got that I've picked out. First one from Niall Foley. He asks how Kavega is, and is she all set to take on the mares again?
Kavega is fine. I think we're ahead of schedule with her this year. She's a lovely piece of work in Punchestown after racing Sunday week. I think at the races might have taped the chasers working, but they packed up their cameras and gone home by the time we brought out our herders. And but anyone that was there saw how well she worked.
Fantastic.
So we're very pleased with her.
That's really good. The one I want to run through with you now before we take you away is just to ask how Ivan Grovsky got on after his run Sunday, because a lot of people were concerned as to what happened with regards to that run.
Well, I was, we were disappointed. However, he confirmed his Christmas form with Clint. Were first and second at Christmas, and they were third and fourth the other day. Maybe that's as good as he is.
Excellent. And so do we think the Triumph is still a possibility?
Wouldn't look at it at the moment. I mean, Guitar Pete looks to be the best over here.
Excellent. OK, thank you for that one, Willie. Another question that we've had in is just to say, are you still going to be looking after Cheltenham to be bringing horses over to England aside from the big festivals? Obviously, we've got Aintree coming up, but we've all really enjoyed seeing some of your runners, Glenn's Melody, for example, at Warwick recently. Are we going to be seeing more of that and on to next season as well? Yes,
hopefully. There are lots of races that we're looking at all the time. It will be an ongoing thing, I think, if we can keep the amount, the quality and quantity of horses that we have at the moment. We would probably be looking at doing more of it as we get familiar with the English programme. It's a different style of programme to the Irish one, and it certainly suits some horses and not others. But however, looking at the flip side of the coin, we've already, I think, brought 4 non-runners to England with race meeting being abandoned. That costs a lot of money, and we've got to bear that factor in. We nearly had Jatanda Burley for the race in Sandown tomorrow, and we didn't enter her. And Sandown has gone again. That would have been a costly exercise again. But it's not simple just bringing them over and back. You've got to factor in the cost and the fact that they're away. I usually don't like running our horses abroad for the smaller races because it does take a bit out of them.
No. And I mean, with regards to that, it's the cost involved as well as owners trying to move them backwards and forwards. I know you tend to target things quite specifically, such as the mares' races and things. Are you likely to have anything possibly going to the Aintries mares' bumper this year? We've had a couple of tweets in about that.
Yes. At the moment, I'm not sure that I have anything good enough to go there, but if something pops up, we will.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear. I'm going to pass you back to the panel, Willie, because I believe a couple of them have got a quick question for you.
Yeah, Willie, just as I say, you've got a lot of viewers tuning in, and if we could just hold you just for 2 more questions, really appreciate that. Firstly, quite a simple one actually. Looking at Saturday, moving away from Cheltenham slightly, looking at Saturday, Gowran Park, I see the old boy Prince de Beauchesne's ended up into the steeplechase, and for the trial hurdle, we're looking at Diakali and Dassault, Upsea and Zaidpur. Which ones of those entries hold for Saturday?
Well, I imagine on Dassault running the Red Mills. I'm still undecided about the Red Mills chase. We could wait with Prince de Beauchesne. He's got a lot of options.
Cheltenham options.
He's got 1 or 2 of those. Turban looks well in down at the bottom of the Red Mills chase, I think. He might go there. He likes that ground. He was ready to run in Clonmel, which was cancelled.
Right.
And so he's a possibility now to go for that Red Nose chase.
Excellent. Well, I'm just going to ask you one more and then see if the panellists have got anything to say. But it was very much a question just about looking at other trainers, your likes of Desi Hughes, etc., over in Ireland. The horses that they're bringing over, is there any of their horses that you wish that you were training? Not wished, or maybe which ones would you like to train yourselves?
Irish horse are going to Cheltenham, is that what you mean?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, sometimes the line here just gets a bit blurred.
No, that's fine.
Our Connor looks the obvious one.
Yeah.
Tunnel Tank looks very good. You'd have to say Pat Fahey's horse next door. He runs in the RSA, you just can't think of his name at the moment. They're all very, very good horses, and they're horses that could win their races because they have they have good form over here.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I've got no doubt in my mind, Willie, that you'll be the top Irish trainer over there, and I might have a couple of quid for you to be the top trainer overall as well. Thanks for joining us here this evening on Bet Racing Nation TV. Really appreciate your time, and best of luck on Saturday, and obviously for the festival. Hopefully all of those jumpers come back safe and sound, Willie.
Thank you very much. Have a good programme.
Cheers. Be lucky.